What is up, you guys? We're just going to pretend that this is some kind of decent angle, but I thought that I would do a try a chapter tag today with two of my romances. So I have the hookup plan, and then out in the living room I have Good Girl Complex that I haven't started. But because they're both romances, I knew that the chapters would be short, and so I'm going for like approximately the first 50 pages. That's what I was trying to say. So for the hookup plan, that was the first four chapters. So we have our two main characters, London and Drew. London is the doctor who's in the friend group from the what was that book? The Dating Playbook? Was that one? I think that's what that one was. I gave it 4 stars in my Kenya vlog. Go watch it. And so this is the doctor friend. And I said that I would read this one just because I liked the doctor friend in the last one. I don't think I want to finish this book though. So here's the setup. Okay. So we have London, who is this high powered pediatric surgeon who has no time for anything. And yet she has found the time to plan a 15-year high school reunion. And maybe it's because I'm coming up on my 10-year high school reunion. It's making me think. And I feel like that's not a thing you have to go to. And it's certainly not a thing you have to plan. And so the book's starting off at this 15-year high school reunion when she's like a whole pediatric surgeon. Like, what's the point of going? Like, who's going to a high school reunion? Like, if it was a med school reunion, if it was catching up with some college friends, I could understand. I don't understand a 15-year high school reunion, but that's just me. Enter Drew Kelly, who we know to be her high school nemesis. Not because this man was equally as intelligent as her, because the book makes it very clear that she was blowing everyone else out of the water. And so Drew was trying to be the competitor to her, except he was taking things like an extra PE class, and somehow they were co-valedictorians with just a 4.0. And listen, maybe 2007 was a different time. It was before my time. I mean, I was alive, but I was not in high school in 2007. But my valedictorian definitely had a higher than a 4.0. Like, 4.0 was not getting no valedictorian. I don't know. Maybe things in Texas are different. Let me know down in the comment section. But Drew and London were fighting it out for valedictorian. They were co-valedictorians. I think you could argue that like London in the game of life succeeded because, she's a whole pediatric surgeon, and Drew, while successful, is just like a hedge fund manager. And I think that it's very clear that like there's a lot of hedge fund managers out there in the world. So, I'm going to give it to the pediatric surgeon. However, even though I have seen people talk about this book, I feel like this book is, it's entirely predictable. It's doing this thing again where Drew from like high school has been pining over this girl. And I like a good friends to lovers. I think that I'm out here for the friends to lovers hype train, but I can't deal with a man who's been simping for a woman since high school, but has been playing antagonistic. Like, you being antagonistic to the girl that you like is cute if you're like 3 years old. And even then, we're kind of pushing it. Like, you're 3, so we're going to work on it. But at the age of like 17, you being antagonistic is weird. It's weird. And now that he's like a full grown adult worth millions of dollars, still playing the same games, it's foolish. I also think that it's entirely predictable. We know that the hospital that employs London is like in some financial straits, and they may or may not be going private. And she's against this idea because she thinks if the hospital goes private, then like she won't be able to care for the patients in the manner in which she's become accustomed. And maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. I don't work in the medical field, so like, don't ask me. But I think it's very clear that the entire reason that Drew is back in Austin is because whatever hedge fund he works for is about to buy the hospital. And so like he's going to like not really be her boss, but like kind of be her boss. And so she doesn't want to date a coworker, but she's going to be dating this guy who was like not really a boss, but kind of a boss. And they're going to get over it, and they're going to have a happily ever after. And I just don't know if I care. Like, like they've already had sex, and normally when I watch romance, people talk about they don't want the book to start off with sex. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? But I get it. Like, I get it. I think that London was being stupid. Like, for 2 books now, she's been in the background, you know, living her life, doing her thing, and then she gets her own book, and in the first 5 pages, she's fucking. It's just like a little unrealistic for me. And not only is she fucking, she's like fucking some person from high school. So like, ma'am, ma'am. So in the battle of the tri chapters, I don't think this is going to win, but you know, maybe Good Girl Complex will be a hot mess. But I'm gonna go read the first 50 pages of that, and maybe it'll be good. I don't know. Hello. It has been maybe like 45 minutes or so since my last little check-in, and I have read the 50 pages of Good Girl Complex by L. Kennedy. And let me say, it was immediately obvious that the romance girlies, they don't like fun. They don't like fun. Here's the thing. Can I speak on behalf of all the romance girlies? No. I can't. But sometimes I watch, and to be fair, none of the people I watch, I don't think have read this. And if they have read this, I haven't heard them talk about it. But it's like, just in general, I'll see these people read some of the most wild books. And then I go on Goodreads, and this little book about this man, Cooper, who is going to try and get with Mackenzie, even though he knows that Mackenzie has a boyfriend. Suddenly, this is like garbage. Now, is Elle Kennedy the best author I've ever read? So far, no. Wouldn't say that. Wouldn't say that she is. Am I having fun? Absolutely. So like I said, the book is about Cooper. We meet him first, which I think is a little bit unusual, even for dual perspectives. Usually we get the heroine, but here we meet Cooper first. And he is a local in, I think this is Avalon Bay or whatever. And he's a bartender, and he's having this shift. It's the last night before college comes back in. And as someone who lives in a college town, I can relate to that. I can relate to the feeling. As soon as the summer starts to wind down, I be dreading it. Because I know that my little Target run gonna take a little bit longer. So I'm sympathizing with Cooper. And so he's out here doing his thing, getting the drinks, trying to help out his little co-worker from being harassed. And in doing so, he gets into an altercation with one of the rich people, Preston, and they get into a fight. And then we get Mackenzie's chapter. Mackenzie is new in town. We find out that she had been taking a gap year, so she's gonna be a freshman who's like 19, 20-ish. We meet her, meeting her roommate, who, you know, explains to her the lay of the land. They're bonding, it's cute. We find out that Mackenzie is Preston's girlfriend, and it's like, ooh, mess, because we already met Cooper, we already met him. And so the next couple of chapters are just their initial meeting. We find out that Cooper has made a bet with his friends that he can get Mackenzie to date him, to sleep with him, to get back at Preston, which is that a little childish? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm here for it. So in case you couldn't guess, I'm going with the Good Girl Complex. So tomorrow morning, when I wake up, that is going to be my priority. And my goal for tomorrow is to deliver a Good Girl Complex reading vlog and maybe start Bad Girl Reputation. Maybe. I also just got an email from St. Martin's where they were offering the 3rd book. So I might let them know that I want to get that. I might let them know, because so far, like, if all of the books in this series are going to be this messy, I'm here for it. I will read them. I will be an Avalon Bay stan. But I'm gonna go, because there's not a whole lot to say about 50 pages that I haven't already told you. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys again tomorrow. But until then, and until next time.